Hey guys, welcome to the second video. So in this second video we will talk about the installation of Maestro and we'll try to run the flow file. In the first video that I posted, I talked about what Maestro is and the prerequisites of what you need to do before you start using Maestro. So we saw how we can set up Android, how we can create emulator, and then how we can install APM and then APM inspector so that we can locate the element, right? So in this video what we'll try to do is we'll try to go through the installation. Primarily we'll try to target Android as a, but we'll try to see if we can use start with iOS as well. We'll try to run the same flow file on an Android device as well and iOS simulator as well. We'll see how we can get started. We'll try to write install Maestro. We'll try to start a device. Maestro gives you this capability that you can directly start a device from your command line, so we'll try to do that. Then we'll create a simple flow file. We'll try to understand what that flow file actually is, and then we will try to run that sample flow file in both Android and iOS. We'll see if we can run on an Android device as well, but primarily we'll target on an Android simulator. Okay, so let's deep dive into the installation process. So I'll just open okay, Maestro documentation. So if you have Mac OS or Linux or Windows subsystem for Linux, you can directly issue a curl request, and let's say we copy the command. I'll open a terminal. I generally use item because I prefer it, so just copy paste this one. It will download the distribution dynamics archive. Now export path, we'll have to issue this command. This is done. Then if Maestro install, yeah, so it is installed. Actually it tells you that these are the sub commands, so directly if you issue Maestro, it will not understand what it needs to do. So what you need to do is you need to give it a list of commands. So let's say if I want to test what is the version, it is 1.36.0, which is I think so the latest one, right? If you want to install a specific version, you can directly give that version. Maestro version is this, and then issue the curl request, right? They have also given you instruction of how you can do it in a Docker to a device. Right, now we have Maestro installed, right? And now we have Maestro installed. So what we need to do is we need to see if we can directly issue a run command to, let's say we do Maestro test. What it says, okay, so it says if I Maestro test flow file, so it does not know which flow file actually, which file it has to run, right? So we need to give it certain, we need to give the flow file name. We also need to give which device it needs to test, right? Which, because it does not know right now which device it needs to have. Now the first command we can issue here if we want to start Maestro is Maestro start device platform equal to Android. So this command actually what it does is it will try to see if your current Android installation matches version 30, right? So what happens is build install if, right? So if you start the device using Maestro start device, it will actually try to install API level 30 of Android. If it is already installed, it will try to create that simulator and then use it. Otherwise, if you do not have that, actually if you do not have that API 30, it will actually try to install it. And this is what I have posted in my blog also, if you could see the installation part, right? See, if you start device platform and it does not have the Android 30, it will ask the permission to install the device. And after the installation, let me show you how it looks like. After the installation, it will create it will create a virtual device manager. Let's see, it will create a it will automatically create you what you would say, simulator, which is Maestro Pixel 6 API 30. Okay, so this is what it does. Now what happens is, if those binaries are not installed, it will ask you to install, it will give you an error that this installation does not appear, and you will have to fix that. Otherwise you can also use this, right? So you will have to go the long shot way, where you start device with the ADB devices and then give the device name to that test, that we want to run this test on this device. But right now we will try to use this Maestro Pixel 6 only. So because I have already installed it, so if I do this, if I run this command, you can see it will start it, see, using existing Maestro. See, as you can see, it has already launched my emulator, correct? So it will try to launch the emulator, and once that emulator is launched, it will give you this. And if that API version 30 is not available on your system, it will basically try to install. See, this is done. Right now, installed Maestro, we installed the Maestro CLI, right? We have also started the device. For Android, we'll jump into iOS in a little bit now. Now let's create a sample file and go to the example. Build and install your app, run sample file. Yeah, this is download samples, I think so. These are pre-built samples, but instead of pre-built sample, what I would rather do is write a sample flow file on our own. And the very simple file that is given in as a part of your first flow that you might need to write is this, right? And this doesn't do anything basic. It is a very basic test. It will launch the app, and if there is a text which says text on the screen, it will tap on it, right? So I'll just write a simple test which is very simple to this, right? So now I have app ID, right, which is it is just a copy paste of this test. The only thing which is different is, instead of tap on the text, I have given a specific text. This is my app, and this is the command that launch app, because most of the files are written in YAML. This is the basic structure that they follow, right? This is the app ID. And if you want to know how do you find your app ID, what you will do is go to this go to your Android version. Okay, let me close it. Okay, go to your Android version, profile or debug APK. Whatever APK you want to run it. Let's say you want to know this, open this, open this. Once this is open, next, back, close. No, okay, let me open another one. Okay, this one. Okay, here go to the not the APK manifest, Android manifest.xml. In here you will see the package name. This is the app ID name that you need to use. So in place of the app ID, you will copy paste this, right? If you are targeting this app, right now I'm not targeting this app, so I will not use this app. I am targeting a different app, which is test your Android app. And so I copied the app ID, launch app, tap on. Basically what I'm trying to say is run this, tap on a specific text on the screen which says flashlight, right? So let me just try to run this command. cd directory, cd documents, and then yes, the Maestro test. We are in the sample Maestro flows directory, Maestro test flow YAML. Flow part does not exist. It says Maestro test flow dot sorry, sample Maestro flow. Now I run this. If you see, okay, I'll just run this test again. Okay, I'll run this test again. So we are inside the sample flows directory. This is the flow file, and if I want to run it, the command that I will issue is maestro test flow.yaml. This app is still open. I'll just close it because I've not cleared. I'll just go to the home page, right, clean slate. I'll run this. Emulator 555 is the emulator that is actually present here because it's already running. So tap on flashlight, right? So it tapped on flashlight, right? If you run this again command, see it. This is the screen flashlight. It tapped on that flashlight, right? And it after every second, if you see, after every second, you will see that it waits for the app state to be stable. If you see, I'm running it again. See, waits for some time to tap on flashlight, taps on the flashlight, then again waits for some time, and then marks this test as complete, right? So that is what we talked about in the first thing, that it automatically waits for after your actions. It will give you some time after your actions so that the action could be completed, right? So it takes that sweet amount of time, and there are also waiting mechanisms available. If you want to add more waits, definitely that are available. So this is how you run your first test in Maestro using a simple flow file, right? So this is an app. You can use any app. The website that I generally follow is APK Mirror. APK Mirror. If you go to APK Mirror, you will find a lot of APKs. You could do some researching. You could see what fits you best and then start consuming that. And there are also various apps which are given by cloud providers like BrowserStack and everything. If you want to use that for installation and test cases, then that is also that you can also do. So this is how you can run your flow file. Now let's say what happens if I close this. If I close this, what happens? Okay. Let me just close this, and then I'll try to run. See what happens if I try to run this. It will say that there are no devices found. I can launch a device manually, or I can select a number from the position below. Start or create a Maestro recommended device, list existing. I'll just do start. Okay, platform Android 30. See, it already launched because it already has created that, right? It will automatically launch. Now you see that this app is already present, right? What happens if we delete this app? What happens? Let's see. If I delete this app, let's go to settings, apps, test your Android. One second. Oh, I ran this app, so it's running actually. Okay, it's done. So what I'll do is go to settings, apps and notification, uninstall. So I have uninstalled this app. Okay, what happens if I try to run a flow which is on an app which is not installed? See, it will give you this error that this package does not exist, which means that you have to manually put that APK into your app, into your phone. So this is again one of the key things that I noticed, that if you want to test on something, you have to actually install it on that device, otherwise it will automatically give you an error. The second thing you could do is, you could instead of directly manually installing it, you could use the APM APM inspector to create a connection using that app path, and it will automatically install it on your system. Then you could definitely you could go that way also, but this just so you know, if you want to run that flow file targeting that app has to be installed on that particular AVD, right? So this is how we can run test on an Android device.